Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through today's topic because honestly, we are looking at a fundamental shift in how we create and share information online. Imagine for a second that you're just casually chatting with the Gemini app right on your phone. Maybe you just downloaded it from Google Play, and you ask it for a really unique viral idea. Almost instantly, it pitches you this brilliant concept, the untold fact about the mysterious day back in 1848 when Niagara Falls completely ran dry. It literally just stopped flowing. Now, that is a fantastic hook, but once you have that amazing research, how do you actually synthesize those notes into a polished explainer? And even more crucially, once that content is out there, how do you ensure it actually gets discovered in this branding era of AI-powered search? Well, today we're covering the whole shebang, the entire workflow, from rapidly generating overviews using Google's Notebook LM, all the way to getting them ranked using generative AI SEO. Okay, let's dive into this. We are living in this fascinating reality right now, where artificial intelligence is acting as both the creator and the judge of our content. Think about it. It's synthesizing our documents into multimedia presentations on one end, and then on the very other end, it's parsing our code to decide if we even deserve a spot in the search results. If you want to thrive in this new landscape, you really have to understand both sides of that coin. So, here is our roadmap for today. First, the AI video revolution. Second, creating Notebook LM video overviews. Third, customizing your output. Fourth, mastering video schema. And finally, generative AI SEO. Let's start with Section 1, the AI video revolution, from generation to discovery. Understanding the really intimate relationship between AI creation and AI search is absolutely essential right now. You can't just create in a vacuum anymore. You have to create with discovery in mind. To do that, you need to understand this specific term, Retrieval Augmentation Generation, or RAG. This is basically the underlying technology for how modern search engines operate. Google uses RAG to fetch your content from the web to ground its AI responses in reality. So what does this actually mean for you? It means that if you want your awesome new story about the Niagara Falls ice jam to be referenced by Google's AI overviews, traditional and technical SEO is actually more vital than ever. You have to feed the machine exactly the structured data it craves. Moving on to Section 2. Creating Notebook LM video overviews, synthesizing sources in seconds. Obviously, before we can distribute anything, we actually have to create it. And Notebook LM has introduced this incredible new feature that turns your dense documents into polished audio and visual summaries using only the specific sources you upload. The workflow is surprisingly simple. Step 1, you just create a notebook and add your sources. This could be those Gemini research notes on the 1848 Niagara Falls event, PDFs, text files, whatever. Step 2, select Video Overview right there in the Studio panel. Step 3, customize your format, language, and style. And Step 4, just hit Generate and Download. It literally does all the heavy lifting in the background, freeing you up to go grab a coffee while it processes. And this brilliantly illustrates the two primary formats you now have at your disposal. The explainer format gives you a really structured, comprehensive overview that connects all the complex dots of your source material. But if you just need the quick highlights, the new brief format gives you a bite-sized, roughly 60-second summary for quickly grasping those core concepts. You get to choose the exact format that best fits your target audience. The practical applications here are just staggering. Educators are already using this for course supplements. In the corporate world, you can literally take a massive, incredibly dense financial report, like say NVIDIA's quarterly results, and turn it into a digestible, narrated executive briefing for your non-technical teams in a matter of minutes. It completely removes the friction of research synthesis. Section 3. Customizing your output, styles, formats, and fixes. Because let's face it, you don't just want a generic export. You want one that perfectly matches your specific vision and your brand. And this is where it gets really fun. Notebook LM has actually integrated Gemini's latest image generation update, which is fondly known as Nano Banana. It automatically applies these contextual, beautiful illustrations to aid memory and retention. You can pick from 6 fantastic visual styles: watercolor, papercraft, anime, whiteboard, retro print, and heritage. It transforms dry text into highly engaging multimedia. Now, I always like to keep things grounded in reality, right? And whenever there are major new tool updates, there can be a few hiccups. A really common real-world hurdle reported by the community on Reddit recently was that the Customize button seemingly just disappeared from their dashboard, leaving them totally unable to access all those cool Nano Banana styles. So the crucial point is, the workaround is actually incredibly easy. If you don't see that Customize button, Simply click the video overview tile directly, or just edit the custom prompt. Doing either of those will trigger the customization options to reappear, allowing you to access all those great formatting and language settings. Section 4. Mastering Video Schema, the code that gets you seen. Okay, so you have a beautifully generated piece of content. Now what? Frankly, the greatest creation in the world is completely useless if search engines cannot understand what it's about. You need to speak Google's language, and that language is JSON-LD structured data. This table right here is your cheat sheet. To even be eligible for those eye-catching, rich snippets in search results, Google absolutely requires the top row: the name, upload date, duration, thumbnail URL, and description. But if you want to build real trust and drive engagement, you really must include the recommended properties below that: author, content URL, interaction statistics like view counts, and aggregate ratings. Let's move to and see how this builds a rock-solid technical foundation for your page. First, gather your exact details. Second, create your JSON-LD schema code. There are plenty of free generators online to help you with this. Third, place that code right into your web page's header tags. And finally, please never skip this step. Run your URL through the Google Rich Results test to ensure the search engine is actually reading it correctly. I want to highlight one specific, incredibly common mistake that will instantly break your schema. Your duration must use the ISO 861 PT format. If you just type out 5 minutes, Google is going to reject the entire code block. You absolutely must format it as PT5M30S. It is a tiny, tiny detail, but it literally makes all the difference between being seen or being totally invisible. So, why do all this boring technical setup? Because pages with properly implemented schema enjoy a 30% higher click-through rate from search compared to pages without it. 30%! That is a massive return on investment for spending just a few minutes formatting some code. Which brings us to Section 5. Generative AI SEO, separating myth from reality. With AI overviews basically taking over search results, there is a ton of anxiety and, quite frankly, terrible advice floating around the internet. Let's separate myth from reality here. This is what you should not do. Directly from Google's own documentation, you can completely ignore the trendy advice to create LMMS.txt files because Google Search ignores them anyway. Don't artificially chunk your content into weird tiny pieces. Don't rewrite your natural language to sound robotic just for the sake of AI systems. And please stop chasing AOE or Geo, answer engine optimization hacks. The AI is plenty smart enough to parse nuance without you slicing and dicing your content. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the secret to AI SEO isn't really a secret at all. Notice how traditional elements are still at the very core of discovery? It's simply exceptional, traditional SEO. You need to focus on creating non-commodity, people-first content. Bring a unique point of view based on your actual real-world expertise, and pair